Welcome back to Entertainment Edition, where we celebrate the music icons and celebrities who define culture, inspire millions, and shape generations. Today, we are diving deep into the story of one of the most influential artists of our time, Taylor Swift. This is not just a career overview, it's an exploration of why Taylor Swift is truly more than just a superstar. Let's begin! Taylor Swift was born in Reading, Pennsylvania, in December 1989, and from an early age, she displayed a rare drive and ambition. Unlike many artists who stumble upon fame by chance, Taylor knew what she wanted and pursued it with laser-like focus. She was a young girl with big dreams, a guitar in her hands, and a voice that would one day echo around the world. By the age of 14, she had already moved to Nashville, Tennessee, the beating heart of country music, determined to break into an industry that was notoriously difficult for outsiders to penetrate. The courage it took for a teenage girl to knock on record label doors and hand out demo CDs cannot be underestimated. Nashville was filled with hopefuls, yet Taylor stood out because she not only had talent, but also an unwavering vision of herself as a songwriter and performer. She wrote songs about her life, her feelings, and her teenage experiences, songs that would later become anthems for millions of fans navigating the same emotions. Her breakthrough came in 2006 with her self-titled debut album, featuring hits like Tim McGraw and Teardrops on My Guitar. These were not just songs, they were diary entries set to music, and they resonated with people instantly. What makes Taylor Swift more than just a superstar is not simply the fact that she has hits, it's that she consistently evolves, pushing boundaries and redefining herself while staying authentic to her story. Few artists in history have managed to successfully transition across multiple genres the way Taylor has. She began as a country sweetheart, became a pop powerhouse, and later embraced alternative and indie folk influences. Each transformation was not a reinvention for the sake of trends, but a reflection of her personal growth and artistry. Take, for instance, the Fearless era. In 2008, Taylor released her sophomore album Fearless, which catapulted her into global stardom. With songs like Love Story and You Belong With Me, she captured the innocence of young love and the fairy tale dreams of millions. Fearless won Album of the Year at the Grammys, making Taylor the youngest artist at the time to receive that honor. It was a defining moment, but it was only the beginning. Next came Speak Now, an album that Taylor wrote entirely by herself. That alone is monumental in a music industry often reliant on teams of writers. Speak Now was her declaration of independence, proving she was not just a performer, but a storyteller with full creative control. With tracks like Enchanted, Back to December, and Dear John, she bared her soul while experimenting with soundscapes that hinted at where she would go next. The turning point in her career came with Red in 2012. Red was transitional, not quite country, not fully pop, but a colorful spectrum in between. It showcased her bravery in experimenting, with singles like We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together and I Knew You Were Trouble, showing her ability to dominate pop radio. At the same time, songs like All Too Well displayed her unmatched lyrical depth. Critics and fans alike recognized that Taylor was no ordinary pop star. She was a poet with mainstream reach. By the time 1989 dropped in 2014, Taylor had fully embraced pop music. This album was a cultural phenomenon. With Shake It Off, Blank Space, Style, and Wildest Dreams, she created a soundscape that defined a decade. 1989 was not just successful, it was a cultural reset. Taylor became the face of modern pop, and her world tours sold out stadiums worldwide. She was now more than a singer, she was a brand, an icon, and a movement. But with fame came scrutiny. Taylor faced public feuds, media backlash, and the infamous 2016 drama involving Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. For many celebrities, such a storm would be career-ending. But Taylor is resilient. She channeled the pain and criticism into her music, creating Reputation in 2017. Reputation was dark, bold, and unapologetic. Songs like Look What You Made Me Do and Delicate showcased an artist reclaiming her narrative. It was not just an album, it was a statement. Taylor proved that she could withstand the harshest spotlight and emerge stronger. In 2019, she delivered Lover, a colorful and romantic contrast to Reputation's edginess. Lover reminded fans of her warmth and optimism, with hits like Me, You Need to Calm Down, and Lover itself. Then, in 2020, during the global pandemic, Taylor surprised the world by releasing 2 albums back-to-back, Folklore and Evermore. These sister records marked another transformation. Stripped of pop gloss, they embraced indie folk and alternative influences, highlighting her lyrical storytelling at its finest. Folklore won Album of the Year at the Grammys, cementing Taylor as one of the most versatile artists of all time. Her journey did not stop there. In 2021, she began re-recording her early albums to regain ownership of her music. This project, known as Taylor's Version, is unprecedented. No other artist of her caliber has undertaken such a bold move, challenging the power dynamics of the music industry. With Fearless, Taylor's Version, Red Taylor's Version, Speak Now Taylor's Version, and 1989, Taylor's Version, already released, fans are not only reliving her classic hits, but also witnessing her reclaiming her legacy. The re-recordings are not just nostalgia, they are a powerful declaration of artistic independence. In 2022, Taylor released Midnights, a concept album exploring sleepless nights and the emotions that keep us awake. It became one of the fastest-selling albums of the decade, and its lead single, Anti-Hero, topped the charts worldwide. The line, "It's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me," became a cultural catchphrase. Once again, Taylor connected with listeners on a deeply human level, blending catchy pop hooks with raw introspection. And then there is the Eras Tour, arguably the most ambitious tour in modern music history. Spanning her entire discography, the Eras Tour is not just a concert, it is an experience, a celebration of nearly 2 decades of artistry. Fans dress up in outfits inspired by their favorite albums, share friendship bracelets, and create a community that is larger than music itself. The tour shattered records, selling out stadiums around the globe, and becoming one of the highest-grossing tours ever. Taylor transformed her career into a cultural movement, one that defines not just music, but an entire generation's sense of belonging. So why is Taylor Swift more than just a superstar? It is because she transcends the definition of a typical celebrity. She is a songwriter who crafts vivid stories, a performer who commands global stages, and a businesswoman who has reshaped industry standards. She is also a role model who empowers young women to speak their truth, embrace their creativity, and fight for their rights. Her impact extends beyond music. Taylor has used her platform to advocate for artists' rights, gender equality, and social justice. She has donated millions to charities, supported education programs, and raised awareness about issues ranging from disaster relief to voter participation. She understands that with great influence comes great responsibility, and she embraces it fully. Taylor Swift's legacy is still being written, but even now she stands as a cultural titan. She has achieved what few can: longevity, relevance, and reinvention across nearly 2 decades. She is not just topping charts, she is shaping the soundtrack of people's lives. From the teenage girl with a guitar in Nashville to the woman commanding the global stage, Taylor Swift is the definition of artistry, resilience, and vision. In the end, Taylor Swift is more than just a superstar. She is a storyteller, a cultural icon, and an artist who continues to inspire millions around the world. Her journey is proof that authenticity, passion, and courage can transcend the limits of fame. And as fans, we know the best part is that her story is far from over. Thank you for joining us on Entertainment Edition. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life and career of Taylor Swift, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more episodes where we celebrate the legends of music and pop culture.